Most of us have probably seen the various outlets that offer these loans. We see them on TV, radio ads, we see them as we walk the streets. People that offer kind of the magical solution of, you walk in needing money and 20 minutes later you walk out and you've got cash in your pocket, and it's just that easy. Can you tell us a little bit about, so who uses payday loans? I think that's an interesting, we all have a sense of who might use those loans, but that's a telling part, and it will get us into some of the social resilience questions around it.
Yeah, this is actually a topic that surprises most people. When you think of payday loans, you think of desperate people, and often that's true. They are desperately in need of credit, but it's not the person that you might think. It's not necessarily the poorest of the poor. In fact, some people who would fit into that category aren't even allowed to take them. And you can see some of the data there that we have. There's about 50%, just a little bit less than 50% are making less than $35,000 a year. So a good chunk of payday loan users are working poor people, and that's another thing. You actually have to be working. You have to be employed to get a payday loan. But what's most surprising to some people is that 25% of users are actually making over $50,000 a year. So there's about 16% who earn between $50,000 and $75,000. So the median income, if I'm not mistaken, these days is 53. So a good 16% of payday loan users are actually at or above the median income level, and 9% had income over $75,000. So it's surprising for a lot of people to hear that, holy smokes, there are actually people who make a good living, who are employed, earning very strong wage levels, and who still go to use them. So that's often surprises a lot of people.
So why do they use them? What's the nature of the payday loan user? So if you're challenging our conception, perhaps, that payday loans are sort of the last resort for people who have no other means of getting money, which you're saying is not the case. So why do they use payday loans? I mean, we have all sorts of banking institutions, looking for our service all the time, our business. Why payday loans?
Well, there are. That's actually an extremely complicated answer, but the short answer to that is that that they're fast and easy, and that is a leading reason why people use them. Milton, you sort of alluded to the fact that you can walk in and half an hour later come out with cash in your pocket, and that's actually true. Most payday loan stores can get you a loan in about 35 minutes if it's the first loan, and if it's the second or third or fourth or fifth, and we can talk about that too, it's often less than 20 minutes. So it's very fast, very convenient. Another sort of human factor about why people use them is that there is a friendly perception. People don't feel judged going in. Money is one of those things that very few people don't like talking about. It's uncomfortable. People go to these places because they like the friendly atmosphere and the lack of judgment. There are other technical reasons. So the most basic one is that they don't have any money and they need money badly. That's why they go. And you can see there, I don't have a Moss Piglet, but I do have a piggy bank. And one of the leading drivers is the fact that you don't have any savings. And so payday loans are a substitute for savings primarily, and even if you don't have savings, they're a substitute for other forms of credit. And that's, I think, an important thing to know. One of the things we mentioned in our papers is there's actually a spectrum of types of credit that people have access to, and they go on a sort of on a good to a very bad. Very bad being loan sharks or illegal loans, so the Bank of Hell's Angels or something like that, where there are high risks associated with that, high costs, to the best kind of loan, which is the bank of mom and dad, or a natural community, we call it. So the cost of borrowing $200, and these often payday loans are very small. As I said, legally they're required to be less than $1,500, but often they run around about $300 to $400 on average. They're small. And the best way to get through $400 is to give mom and dad a call, or to give a family a call, or to give your church a call. And there's lots of examples of natural communities that offer this. Some ethnic communities do this. A lot of families do that, and those are very cheap. They're very easy to get, and your collateral is basically your relationship, and that's an important one. But then there's other forms of credit, lines of credit, credit cards, cash advances, and so on, that sort of work their way all the way down to the loan shark. So that's a bit of a picture of what they're substituting for.
So